Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. Those repeating numbers. A strange song that keeps playing when you think of a certain person. That symbol that shows up at the exact moment your thoughts reach their peak. These aren't random. They aren't coincidence. They aren't something to dismiss. These are divine signals. These are coded messages from the heavens, flashing like emergency lights in the spirit realm, screaming for your attention. They are not meant to confuse you. They are meant to awaken you. You've been receiving these signs for weeks, maybe even months. But lately, they've grown louder, stronger, more consistent. It's not your imagination, and it's not delusion. You are not spiraling. You are ascending. You are being pulled from the sleep of this world into the awareness of your divine assignment. Archangel Michael is sounding the trumpet through every symbol, every synchronicity, every déjà vu. They are all a holy alarm system, and now the alarm is blaring. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to stay numb. That's why the universe is shaking your soul from the inside out. It's not a glitch in your mind. It's an activation in your spirit. And the moment you stop dismissing the pattern and start decoding it, that's the moment you reclaim your power. That's the moment the veil begins to lift. And that's exactly why Archangel Michael is here now, to tell you to open your spiritual eyes, awaken your inner knowing, and trust what you're seeing. Because what you're seeing is not madness. It's the divine reaching for you. Type I am awake in the comments if this speaks to your soul. Blessing code 777 is now releasing clarity. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. Heaven is not whispering anymore. It is shouting through the symbols, crying out through the cycles, ringing alarms in your dreams, your waking moments, your very atmosphere. The universe has placed a divine spotlight over your soul, and every single pattern you see is heaven's way of shaking you out of sleep. You are not losing it. You are finding it. And it is the sacred assignment buried beneath your confusion, your pain, your divine unrest. This moment, this one right now, is no accident. Archangel Michael have been dispatched not to comfort your logic, but to quicken your spirit. He stands in divine armor, sword drawn not against your enemies, but against the illusions that have blinded you. You are not being punished. You are being prompted. You are being provoked into a deeper awareness. You are being pulled into the truth of your soul's contract. Every strange repetition you've witnessed, every nudge of familiarity that sent chills through your spine, they were all coded signs. You were never meant to ignore them. You were meant to decode them. Tonight, within the next 24 hours, something will align again. Another pattern will appear. Another synchronicity will tap you on the shoulder. When it does, don't just notice it. Acknowledge it. Speak to it. Bless it. Honor it as a divine messenger. Because the moment you stop seeing these signals as crazy and begin to see them as sacred, the portal of perception will widen. You will be guided to something, or someone, vital to your next chapter. This is not folklore. This is divine strategy. The spirit realm has chosen you for this awareness. Your awakening is not a side effect. It's a divine promotion. But with great awakening comes divine responsibility. That's why Archangel Michael is watching over you now, not as a distant angel, but as your front-line protector. His wings are stretching over your home. His sword is cutting through the noise. His voice is what you hear right now, echoing through your heart like thunder, Because this is urgent. This is not something to take lightly. This is your soul's turning point, and heaven cannot afford for you to miss it. Do not run from the signs. Do not numb them out. Do not explain them away. Every repeated number, every flash of insight, every strange pattern you're seeing, it's your wake-up call. You are being summoned. You are being reminded. You are being chosen again. And this time, Archangel Michael won't let you fall back to sleep. Type "I receive the signal" if you hear heaven now. Blessing code 1444 is preparing a divine encounter. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. You've been carrying the weight of confusion on your chest, trying to breathe through a fog that others refuse to acknowledge. People around you see the shifts in your eyes, the distance in your thoughts, and instead of asking "What are you awakening to?" they whisper behind your back, "What's wrong with them?" But there is nothing wrong with you. What's wrong is the blindness of those who think silence is ignorance and who mistake spiritual awakening for delusion. There's a conversation happening behind your back right now. There are people interpreting your spiritual evolution as instability. They don't understand what you've been seeing. They don't understand what you've been feeling. They don't understand that your quietness is not confusion. It is clarity. Because when the divine begins to speak through patterns, through dreams, through repetition, through the same message echoing again and again in different places, it silences the noise of the world. You begin to detach, not from reality, but from illusion. And those who are still asleep cannot handle your awakening. Your clarity convicts them. Your vision challenges them. Your light exposes the shadows they've made peace with. Someone thinks they know you. Someone believes they have the measure of your mind, the understanding of your past, the script to your soul. But what they don't see is that you've outgrown their perception of you. You've been changing quietly, silently, spiritually. And that's why the universe keeps sending these patterns. It's not just a signal, it's a mirror showing you the gap between who you were and who you're becoming. And the truth is, their conversations about you are based on the version of you that no longer exists. This is why you've been feeling misunderstood. This is why you've been withdrawing from familiar circles, pulling back from certain friendships, feeling disconnected in rooms that used to feel comfortable. It's not because something's wrong with you. It's because something's awakening in you. And that awakening is creating tension. Divine tension. Because the closer you get to the light, the more the shadows start to panic. The more the energy around you begins to shift. The more the people who were once for you start to feel unfamiliar, even unsafe. But do not fear this unraveling. Do not fear the distance that's growing between you and them. Archangel Michael wants you to understand this. The gossip is not personal. It is spiritual. The whispers are not about your character. They are about your calling. You're not losing relationships. You're shedding illusions. You're not becoming isolated. You're being consecrated. Because what's coming next, the revelation behind these patterns, is so holy, so intimate, so life-altering that heaven is removing anything that might distort it. You must prepare. You must protect your peace. You must recognize the divine mystery unfolding around you. You are in the middle of a spiritual transition, and while others are busy analyzing your silence, they are completely missing your ascension. You do not owe anyone an explanation. Their confusion is not your burden. Your opinions are not your prison. Let them talk. Let them guess. Let them misunderstand. Because very soon, what is being revealed to you in patterns will become manifestation. And when it does, even your doubters will be silenced by what heaven confirms. Type "I am being revealed" in the comments if this message pierced your spirit. Blessing code 5555 is opening new dimensions of truth. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. You are not under attack by coincidence. You are not haunted by strange sequences for no reason. You are being drawn into spiritual awareness through a sacred portal of patterns. But what feels like confusion is, in truth, a divine confrontation. What feels like instability is actually spiritual activation. You are not being tormented. You are being tested. And what you perceive as conflict in the natural realm is actually a sign that heaven is escalating your spiritual rank. This is not personal. This is spiritual. The struggle you're feeling, the pressure that's building, the disruptions in your relationships, the shifts in your energy, they are not random. They are not emotional. They are spiritual warfare. The signs you're seeing aren't just harmless glitches. They are divine intelligence from the angelic realm, warning you that spiritual activity is intensifying around you. Why? Because you're awakening. You're beginning to see the matrix for what it is. You're beginning to hear the whispers of your assignment. And that kind of clarity draws both favor and opposition. You've been asking why it feels like everything is coming at you at once. Why people you never expected to betray you are acting strange. Why environments that once felt peaceful now feel heavy. The answer is this: the shadows are reacting to your light. The enemy senses the alarm that heaven has planted inside you. The moment you saw the pattern, the moment you heard that voice inside say, "This means something," you became a threat to the kingdom of darkness. That's why the distractions multiplied. That's why the confusion thickened. Because you're not who you used to be, and the spirit realm knows it. You are chosen. You are marked. You are divinely encoded with a mission that terrifies darkness. And so, it uses familiar faces to shake you. It uses misunderstandings to isolate you. It uses conflict to confuse you. But hear this loud and clear: you are not crazy. You are not unstable. You are not imagining things. You are not broken. You are breaking through. Heaven is peeling back the veil so you can see the war you were born to win. And every repeated pattern you see is a signpost pointing to your awakening. The enemy is subtle. It doesn't show up in horns and flames. It shows up in confusion, in distraction, in disconnection, in patterns that make you second-guess your discernment. What Michael says: no more second-guessing. It's time to trust what you're seeing. Time to lean into the frequency of your intuition. Time to walk as someone covered in divine authority. You were not created to tiptoe through life avoiding spiritual conflict. You were created to stand firm in truth, equipped and protected. Archangel Michael is your defender. His sword is not symbolic, it is spiritual. It cuts through lies. It divides confusion. It clears the fog. And right now, it is resting over you, not because you are in danger, but because you are being called forward. You are being promoted into divine perception. This season is not about survival. It's about strategy. The patterns are heaven's GPS. The disruption is your training. And the alarm isn't to scare you, it's to awaken you. Type "I am divinely armored" if you know this message is for you. Blessing code 888 is unlocking supernatural protection around your calling. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. There's movement happening behind the veil. You can feel it. You can sense it. You can almost hear the vibration in the spiritual atmosphere. And that's because something is being stirred in response to your awakening. When the divine calls you higher, when the patterns begin speaking clearly, when your discernment begins to sharpen, it doesn't just activate clarity, it agitates conflict. The spiritual alarm you keep noticing isn't just to wake you up. It's also revealing that someone else is planning a disruption. You may feel it as a tightness in your chest, or a sudden wave of nervous energy without a known cause. You may hear someone's name pop up unexpectedly. You may see a message on your phone and hesitate to open it. These are not coincidences. These are clues. The moment you began seeing through the patterns, the enemy began plotting distractions. Someone may reach out soon, not out of love, but out of confusion. Someone may confront you, not with truth, but with distortion. And you need to be spiritually alert, because what happens in the next 24 hours could determine whether you stand firm or fall back. Archangel Michael reveals this clearly. The person who is about to reach for you is not aligned with your future. They are entangled with your past. But they have been watching your light increase, and that light has unsettled their comfort in darkness. Expect a message, direct or indirect. It may come through text, a comment online, or a sudden request for conversation. They may approach as a friend, but they carry the spirit of manipulation. This is not a coincidence. This is an attempt to twist your clarity, to disrupt your confirmation, to tamper with your timeline. You must be alert. You must remain guarded, not paranoid, but prepared. This is why heaven has shown you the signs so consistently. This is why you've seen the same number 3 times in a row, heard the same phrase from 3 different people, felt the same intuitive nudge over and over again. Heaven isn't just calling you, heaven is arming you. You're not meant to answer every message. You're not meant to entertain every conversation. Some doors must remain closed, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Archangel Michael wants you to remember this. The divine alarm is not just to wake you up. It's to warn you of what's trying to pull you back to sleep. You've come too far. You've broken too many generational patterns. You've endured too many sleepless nights to be fooled by a familiar voice carrying an unfamiliar spirit. When the confrontation comes, when the words are laced with charm but rooted in confusion, you must discern. You must pause. You must protect the atmosphere you fought to rebuild. Do not explain. Do not overextend. Do not try to rescue what heaven has already removed. The spiritual realm is vibrating with urgency right now. Something is coming to test your silence. Something is coming to trigger your emotions. But you will not be shaken. You will not be pulled out of alignment. Not this time. Because this time, you recognize the pattern. This time, you remember the signs. This time, your armor is spiritual, and your mind is sound. Type I am grounded in truth in the comments. Blessing code 9999 is now surrounding your discernment and guarding your decisions. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. But waking up doesn't mean fighting every battle. Waking up doesn't mean proving your worth to those who doubt you. It doesn't mean shouting your truth to every ear that isn't prepared to hear it. Waking up means choosing wisdom. It means anchoring yourself in stillness. It means understanding that divine perception requires divine posture, and right now, heaven is commanding your stillness as a strategy, not as silence from fear, but as a force rooted in power. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to clarify why you've changed. You don't need to overextend yourself to make others feel comfortable with your awakening. You are not required to water down your truth just to soothe someone else's ignorance. You are being elevated, and with elevation comes isolation, not as punishment but as protection. Archangel Michael reminds you now, stillness is not weakness. Stillness is warfare. Every time you choose not to respond to provocation, every time you choose peace over petness, every time you choose silence over shouting, you are shifting the atmosphere around you. You are taking back control. You are covered. You are shielded. You are surrounded by divine armor. Michael's sword has been drawn not just to fight for you but to stand in front of you, absorbing what you cannot see. Heaven is not asking you to fight. Heaven is asking you to trust. Trust that your silence will speak louder than their rumors. Trust that your refusal to argue will confuse the one sent to disturb you. Trust that your restraint is not retreat. It is reverence for your new level. You must stay grounded. Grounded not in emotion. Grounded not in fear. Grounded in faith. Grounded in divine identity. When the alarms ring, through signs, symbols, repeated phrases, nudges in your spirit, do not panic. Buzz. Breathe. Speak not to the chaos, but to the heavens. This is your weapon now, inner stillness. You are not called to wrestle with what God has already overruled. You are not called to debate with what the divine has already exposed. You are not called to prove your purity to polluted hearts. This is your instruction. Protect your energy. Protect your atmosphere. Do not revisit the rooms where you were once silenced. Do not return to environments that choked your clarity. Do not chase what heaven is asking you to release. Let them wonder. Let them question. Let them assume. You owe no response. Your growth will reveal what your words could never explain. Let heaven speak on your behalf, because it will. And when heaven speaks, no voice can rise against you and remain standing. Archangel Michael declares this over you now. You are walking through a season of divine insulation. The alarms you're noticing are not only alerts, they are assignments. Assignments to protect your mind. Assignments to guard your heart. Assignments to shield your focus. You are being elevated above distraction. You are being lifted above drama. You are being taught how to live in alignment, not reaction. The more you stay grounded, the more clearly you'll see the pattern. The more clearly you see the pattern, the more confidently you will walk in divine flow. Type "My stillness is holy" in the comments. Blessing code 000 is surrounding your space with divine peace and invisible protection. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. And now that you're awake, truly awake, you must see yourself differently. You must walk differently. You must speak differently. You must believe differently. Because this awakening isn't just about recognizing the signs, it's about becoming the sign. You are no longer just the one receiving divine messages. You are the message. You are the shift. You are the signal. You are the revelation they never saw coming. You're no longer who they thought you were. You've outgrown the boxes they put you in. The old version of you would have apologized for your insight. The old version of you would have doubted the signs, would have tried to fit back in, would have dimmed your light for the sake of harmony. But that version of you doesn't exist anymore. You have been baptized by the patterns. The divine alarm has stripped away your illusion. You are no longer operating at the frequency of fear. You are vibrating at the frequency of faith. And that faith is magnetic. That faith is prophetic. That faith is making hell nervous. Out of the ashes you rise. Out of confusion, you rise. Out of the betrayal, the heartbreak, the nights when you cried for clarity, you rise. What they thought would break you only rebuild you. What they used to shame you only became your sacred badge. The same people who once mocked your journey will be stunned by your breakthrough. And you will not have to explain a thing. Because when God elevates someone, the fruit becomes the only evidence they need. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this with holy confidence. You are not a follower in this season. You are a foreigner. You are not in recovery, you are in reignition. What once made you question your sanity is now becoming your source of supernatural power. You can see things others can't. You can feel what others deny. You can walk through chaos and stay calm because your clarity is not rooted in circumstances. It's rooted in divine alignment. And that kind of power cannot be bought, faked, or stolen. They can't touch what God has sealed. Let that truth burn through your soul. You are sealed. You are assigned. You are untouchable in the spirit. The more you align with your higher self, the more protected you become. No hex, no curse, no jealousy, no spiritual weapon formed against you can override divine order. You were chosen for this moment. You were built for this shift. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can snatch you out of your calling unless you give them permission. And Archangel Michael is standing guard to make sure you don't. The storm is clearing. Your vision is sharpening. Your path is illuminated. The next time the pattern appears, you will not panic. You will prophesy. You will say, I see you, heaven. I receive you. And when others come to you, confused by what they're seeing in their own lives, you'll recognize that you've become the confirmation they were praying for. You become the alarm. And that is what rising in divine power truly looks like. Type I am the shift in the comments if this unlocked something in you. Blessing code 1212 is activating boldness and spiritual rank in your life. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. And now that you've awakened, now that the fog has lifted and the spiritual frequency has realigned your senses, you must prepare, not for war, but for wonders. For the season of testing is folding into a season of transformation. The pain has served its purpose. The confusion has cleared the clutter. The signs that once startled you are now shaping you. The same patterns that made you question your mind are now confirming your mission. A holy shift is underway. Someone will come forward with the truth. Someone who once doubted you will speak your name with reverence. The same people who whispered in confusion are now wrestling in conviction, because your consistency in silence, your refusal to crumble, your commitment to remain spiritually grounded, all of it has spoken louder than any defense you could have ever voiced. The divine alarm wasn't just for you, it was for them, too. And now, eyes are opening, hearts are softening. Truth is rising like the sun, and what was hidden in shadows is about to be revealed. Peace will arrive in unexpected ways, not from the ones who hurt you, not from the situations you tried to fix, but from within. A holy stillness is being poured into your spirit, and it will make no sense to those watching from the outside. While others are striving, you'll be soaring. While others are manipulating, you'll be meditating. While others are speaking chaos, you'll be walking in calm. This is not detachment. It's divine recentering. It's what happens when you let the patterns guide you back to God's original blueprint for your soul. This is your prophetic resolution. You are walking out of delay. You are stepping out of distortion. You are leaving behind the emotional clutter that once made you feel like you were spiraling. Heaven is redeeming the time. The years you spent second-guessing, the nights you lost to spiritual warfare, the energy you gave to voices that didn't honor your vision. It is all being restored. This was never punishment. It was preparation. This was never madness. It was mirroring. And now, the mirror is showing you who you were always meant to be. This is the final test before your elevation. Your ability to hold your peace, to trust the pattern, to decode the divine. That was the real warfare. And you passed. You did not fold. You did not quit. You did not sell your soul for acceptance. And because of that, Archangel Michael now declares, elevation is your inheritance. Promotion is your birthright. Divine favor is forming in your atmosphere like storm clouds ready to release abundance. It's coming quickly, suddenly, without warning. Just like the alarm, only this time, it won't be a warning. It will be a wonder. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way, and it means the world to those called to this divine journey. Type I receive the shift in the comments now. Blessing code 7777 is raining favor and irreversible transformation over your destiny. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. And now that you've awakened, not just emotionally, not just mentally, but spiritually, it's time to act. You can no longer stay idle while the heavens roar with messages. You can no longer stand still while divine instructions are flowing around you. You must respond. You must align. You must move. Because when heaven speaks, your response determines your elevation. When the divine sends an alarm, what you do next echoes throughout the atmosphere. This moment, right here, is not symbolic. It is sacred. Heaven is waiting for your agreement. The angels are watching for your response. The entire realm of light is holding its breath, watching to see what you'll do now that the signs are undeniable, now that the voice has been heard, now that your heart has been stirred. You are not just a witness to this message, you are a carrier of it. And in the spiritual realm, alignment requires action. You can no longer keep this awakening quiet. You can no longer dismiss your discernment as mere intuition. You must step into it with confidence. You must declare with power, I see it. I accept it. I align with it. Archangel Michael isn't just here to inform. He's here to activate. You are not called to consume this message and return to normal. You are called to shift the atmosphere around you. That begins with your declaration. When you speak it, you claim it. When you type it, you align with it. When you move with it, you embody it. Every declaration you speak is an agreement with heaven. Every step you take in truth builds momentum in the spirit. Every time you choose alignment over fear, you create a path for miracles to flow. So declare it boldly. I am awakened. Say it aloud. Type it below. Let the vibration of that truth shake through your timeline, your home, your decisions. Let the spiritual realm know that you heard the alarm, and you are no longer asleep. You are no longer hesitant. You are no longer waiting for outside confirmation. You are the confirmation. And by affirming it, you summon divine guidance in greater measure. Archangel Michael is ready to walk beside you, but he cannot override your will. He needs your yes, your full yes, your all-in yes. The patterns you've seen were never just for observation. They were an invitation to elevate, a shift, to walk into the supernatural blueprint designed for your life. But only your action opens that door. Only your agreement unlocks the flow. The alarm is still ringing, not to cause panic, but to stir purpose. Not to make noise, but to trigger motion. This is the time. This is the hour. This is the doorway. And heaven is urging you to step through. Declare your awakening. Speak your alignment. Type your truth. Heaven is not moved by hesitation. It is moved by activation. Let your spirit respond. Let your soul say yes. Let your timeline echo with power. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not crazy. You are called. And now, your agreement becomes the seed of your next level. Type I am fully awakened if you receive this instruction. Blessing code 1111 is unlocking prophetic alignment and divine acceleration in your life. Archangel Michael says you're not crazy. The pattern you keep seeing is a divine alarm. Wake up. And now that you've responded, now that you've affirmed, now that you've declared and aligned, there is one final truth that must settle in your spirit. You are not a victim of confusion. You are the vessel of confirmation. You are not spiraling. You are soaring. You are not lost. You are locked in. You are not broken. You are becoming. What they thought was madness was actually revelation. What they tried to silence in you, heaven is now amplifying for the world to hear. You are light in human form. A walking message. A living prophecy. You are the proof that divine order still breaks through chaos, that sacred signs still reach souls, that angels still speak, and that clarity can still pierce confusion like a blade of fire. Archangel Michael speaks this over your life right now. The fog has lifted. The illusions are scattered. The whisper that once made you doubt has now become a roar that causes darkness to tremble. You are not crazy, you are chosen. You are not insane. You are ignited. You are not falling apart. You are rising on purpose. Let them whisper. Let them doubt. Let them question. But let them watch. Because your life will now speak louder than anything you ever posted, louder than anything you've ever tried to explain. The patterns were the first sign. Your stillness was the second. Your alignment was the third. And now comes the fourth, the transformation. And nothing will be able to stop it. Nothing will be able to reverse it. Nothing will be able to hide it. When God decides it's time to unveil a soul, no voice, no curse, no confusion can cover what heaven has called forth. This is your closing affirmation. You are not a victim. You are the revelation. You are what happens when heaven refuses to let a soul be silenced. You are what happens when someone keeps standing, keeps praying, keeps believing, even when it feels like their mind is unraveling. You are what happens when a divine being decides to answer the alarm instead of ignoring it. And because you said yes, truly, deeply, boldly, Archangel Michael now wraps you in a shield of certainty. The kind that cannot be shaken. The kind that cannot be faked. The kind that becomes a force field of favor around your entire atmosphere. Let your light remain lit. Let your words stay rooted. Let your pace be patient. Let your presence speak volumes. Because this is the version of you the world needs. Not the tired you. Not the doubting you. Not the people-pleasing, second-guessing, watered-down version of you. But this awakened, aligned, and armored version. The one who has seen the signs and responded. The one who has felt the divine alarm and stood up with spiritual authority. The one who no longer questions if they are crazy, because now they know they are called. Carry this truth with you. Let it echo in every room. Let it radiate from your eyes, flow through your actions, and breathe from your presence. You are not the same. You cannot be contained. You are the answer someone has been praying for. You are the confirmation someone had been waiting on. And now, the divine alarm will no longer haunt you. It will guide you. Drevu. Type I am the revelation in the comments. Blessing code 1010 is sealing this truth into your spirit and setting your next chapter in divine motion.